I'll have a very good conversation with him. What I say to him is none of your business. Go ahead. There's a possibility. I'm meeting with Russia. I'm meeting with China. I'm meeting with many countries. We're meeting with many countries. We have many things. We've been ripped off by everybody over the years. They're not ripping us off anymore. A big difference right now. We're meeting with China. Just so you know, China has been paying us billions and billions of dollars. Until I got here, they never paid this country 10 cents. So we'll see what happens with China, with Russia, with Japan, with many countries. Say it. The ball's in no court. You know what? Iran can do whatever they want. It's just fine. I have plenty of time. But they have a country that's in economic distress. It's an economic disaster right now. They could solve it quickly or they can solve it in 10 years from now. Whatever they want is fine with me. Whatever they want. I have all the time in the world. I'm sitting here, I have all the time in the world. In the meantime, they have very strong sanctions. They have to live with those sanctions. But Iran should do the right thing for their people. The problem is, I don't believe their leader, I'm not sure that their leaders care for their people. If they do, they'll make a deal. If they don't, they're just thinking about themselves. And they're selfish and they're stupid if that's what they're doing. I'll be meeting with a lot of other people, not by him, but I may be speaking to him in a different form. I'll be going, as you know, to South Korea after we're finished with the G20, and we'll be there for about a day. We have a lot of meetings planned with a lot of different countries. We are a country that's respected again. Not like the old days. We're respected again. These countries respect us. They didn't respect us 3, 4, 5 years ago. They respect us again. Thank you very much.
Mr. Johnson, now recognize the chairman of the full committee, Mr. Nadler.
Thank you. Professor Turley, I unfortunately agree with you that courts are very reluctant to question the president's honesty or any president's honesty or motivations and go behind his determinations. But I think that on this one, at least as to the use of military funds, he wants to move military funds to have the border guarded by building a wall with military funds. Presumably, the wall is a military asset for military use. But the Posse Comitatus Act specifically says the military cannot be used to enforce domestic law. So how can you justify the use of military funds for a military purpose that is denied to be a military purpose by law?
No, that's an excellent question, and that will be an issue the court will have to deal with. I have to say that I'm skeptical. Because the military has been used on the border in the past. Presidents have called the military to the border. It's a classic use of the military.
Have they been challenged in court?
Not that I recall, but I doubt a court's going to seriously debate whether a president has the authority to send the military to the border. Your point, Mr. Chairman, is a perfectly good one. To the extent that they're doing law enforcement duties, that does bring up posse comitatus. That is a legitimate
immigration law is law enforcement duties.
But the
drug smuggling is law. What would they be doing that wouldn't be law enforcement duties?
Well, because the border is also a national security border. It is a classic use of the military. They patrol the border. And I'm just saying how I believe a court is going to view this.
But they patrol the border presumably against foreign troops. Insofar as they're talking about drug smuggling or illegal immigration, that's domestic law enforcement.
Well, I would say the border protection is a mix. And the question is, do you expect a federal judge to say you can't order troops to the border to deal with border security? The answer is...
No, but I expect the federal judge maybe to say you can't order troops to the border to deal with drug smuggling or illegal immigration. National security, if the Mexicans are going to invade, 1848 isn't that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do think that this body can correct this problem. It can create clarity on the use of this.
Mr. Gerson, would you comment?
That doesn't currently exist in the statute.
On which part of it?
On the use of military forces to enforce domestic law, or is that what is happening here?
I agree with you in the abstract, but in the real, I have to agree with you because that's a point that we make in our litigation, and I expect it to be accepted. I think what to me is the right answer to that comes from the fact that sure, the president can dispatch troops to the border for a reason that is consistent with presidential war powers. There needs to be an underlying fact. If it's just a question of interdicting immigrants, that doesn't relate to the enumerated power that the president has.
So the express purpose of the wall, which is to interdict immigrants and prevent smuggling, would not be a military purpose within the meaning of the policy.
Well,